Skin crawling is that strange feeling that tiny insects are moving across your arms, legs, back, or face. You look down, ready to start a full investigation, and there is nothing there. No bug, no rash, no obvious reason. Just your skin acting like it received bad information. It's called formication, which sounds like a crime, but it's just a type of paresthesia, a false sensation created by irritated nerves. Your skin doesn't actually feel the world directly. Your nerves collect signals, send them to your brain, and your brain turns them into reality. When those signals get messy, your brain fills in the blanks. At first, it feels like a tickle. Then it becomes crawling. Then you start scratching, checking, and slowly losing trust in your own body. The usual causes are boring: dry skin, stress, anxiety, caffeine, poor sleep, or sitting in one position too long. But here's the catch: if it's constant, spreading, or comes with numbness, weakness, or burning pain, don't just call it weird, get it checked. The truth is, your skin isn't always reporting danger. Sometimes your nerves are just sending spam. Spine zap. Spine zap is that sudden electric shock that shoots down your neck, back, or sometimes into your arms and legs. It feels like someone plugged your skeleton into a wall socket for half a second. It's usually a nerve signal firing too aggressively. Nerves are electrical cables. They're supposed to send clean messages: touch, pressure, pain, temperature. But when a nerve gets compressed, stretched, irritated, or overstimulated, it can fire the wrong message at the wrong time. You bend your neck, you twist suddenly, you sit badly for hours, then out of nowhere, zap! Your body delivers a tiny lightning strike just to make the meeting worse. At first, it's terrifying, then it vanishes. That's what makes it so strange. Pain usually stays long enough to explain itself. This doesn't. It arrives like breaking news and disappears before the details load. But the problem is, repeated electric shocks down the spine can sometimes point to nerve compression or spinal cord irritation. The truth is, a random zap can be harmless. A pattern is information. Phantom drip. Phantom drip is when you feel water running down your leg, arm, neck, or back, but when you touch the spot, it's completely dry. No sweat, no spill, no leak, just your body gaslighting you with imaginary liquid. This happens because wetness is not a single sense. Your brain builds the feeling of wetness from temperature, pressure, movement, and touch. You don't actually have special wetness detectors. You have nerves guessing based on clues. So when a small nerve fires in a thin, moving pattern, your brain interprets it as a drip. A tiny cold signal becomes water. A crawling signal becomes a line. A pressure signal becomes liquid moving down your skin. At first, you check once, then twice. Then you start wondering if your chair, your clothes, or your sanity is involved. The usual causes are dry skin, stress, anxiety, or muscle tension pressing on small sensory nerves. The truth is, phantom drip isn't water. It's your brain turning static into a story. Body vibration. Body vibration is when you feel like your whole body is quietly buzzing from the inside. Not shaking visibly, not trembling enough for anyone else to notice, just vibrating like there's a tiny engine running under your skin. It often happens when your nervous system is stuck in high alert. Stress, too much caffeine, poor sleep, dehydration, low blood sugar, and anxiety can all push your body into a state where the alarm system stays on, even when nothing dangerous is happening. Your muscles are not fully moving, your nerves are not fully calm, they're hovering in the middle. That creates the feeling of internal vibration. At first, it feels subtle, then you notice it, then noticing it makes it louder. That's the trap. Your attention becomes a volume knob. The more you scan for it, the more real it feels. But here's the catch. If vibration comes with visible tremors, weakness, balance problems, or new neurological symptoms, it needs a proper check. The truth is, your body may not be vibrating. Your nervous system may be overreading itself. Stomach drop. Stomach drop is that sudden falling sensation in your belly. It happens in elevators, on roller coasters, during bad news, before a performance, or sometimes while doing absolutely nothing. It feels like your organs just missed a step. The reason is your autonomic nervous system, the part of your body that controls survival reactions without asking you first. When your brain senses motion, fear, surprise, or sudden uncertainty, it releases adrenaline. Blood flow shifts, your abdominal muscles tighten, and your stomach feels like it fell through a trapdoor. At first, it's physical. Then your brain adds meaning. Something bad is happening. Something is wrong. You need to react. but most of the time it's just a fast body response to a fast emotional or motion signal. There's more. Your gut has its own nerve network, sometimes called the enteric nervous system. It talks constantly with your brain. The truth is, stomach drop isn't weakness. It's your survival system pressing the emergency button too early. Internal shiver. Internal shiver is when you feel cold or shaky inside, but your body isn't visibly shaking. You may not even be cold. Your hands look normal, your room is normal, but inside, something feels like it's trembling. It usually comes from the same system that controls temperature, adrenaline, and muscle tone. When your body thinks it needs to prepare for action, tiny muscle signals can increase without creating a full shiver. You feel the preparation, but not the movement. Stress does this. Fatigue does this. Fever can do this. Low blood sugar can do this. Even intense emotion can do this, because your body doesn't separate feelings and survival as cleanly as you think. At first, it feels like chills. Then it feels like panic. Then the panic makes the chills worse. Beautiful design, very annoying. But here's the reality. If internal shiver comes with fever, fainting, chest pain, severe weakness, or confusion, don't romanticize it as a body glitch. The truth is, internal shiver is often your alarm system warming up without a real emergency. Scalp prickles. Scalp prickles are those tiny, sharp tingles across your head. It can feel like static electricity, tiny needles, or your hair roots suddenly waking up one by one. This one is usually your scalp nerves, blood vessels, and tiny hair muscles reacting together. Your scalp is packed with nerves. It's more sensitive than people realize, which is why one light touch on your head can feel relaxing, irritating, or weirdly intense depending on the moment. Stress can tighten the muscles around your head and neck. That tension irritates small nerves. Caffeine and poor sleep can make the nerves more reactive. Cold, fear, music, or emotion can trigger the tiny muscles at the base of hair follicles. At first, it feels like something is moving in your hair. Then you check. Nothing. So you check again. Still nothing. The catch is simple. If scalp prickles come with severe headache, vision changes, facial weakness, or sudden numbness, that's not just a strange feeling. The truth is, your scalp is loud because it's wired like a sensitive control panel. Hot patch. Hot patch is when one random area of skin suddenly feels warm or burning. Maybe your thigh, maybe your shoulder, maybe a spot on your back you can barely reach. You touch it, and sometimes it isn't even hot. That's the weird part. The feeling of heat doesn't always require heat. Your nerves can create temperature sensations without a temperature change. If a small sensory nerve gets irritated, it can send a burning or warm signal to your brain even when the skin is completely normal. Tight muscles can do it. Posture can do it. Nerve compression can do it. Anxiety can do it. Even clothing rubbing the same area for too long can make the nerve overreact. At first, it feels like warmth. Then it becomes suspicious. You start wondering if there's inflammation, infection, or some mysterious internal fire. But here's the catch. If the hot patch becomes painful, red, swollen, blistered, or spreads, that's different. The truth is, heat is not always heat. Sometimes it's just a nerve with bad timing. Floating feeling. Floating feeling is when your body feels slightly detached from the ground. You're walking, standing, or sitting, but something feels off. Not exactly dizzy, not exactly weak, more like you're half a second away from your own body. This can come from your vestibular system, the balance machinery inside your inner ear. It can also come from anxiety, low blood sugar, dehydration, fatigue, or breathing too fast without realizing it. Your brain builds your sense of being solid from many inputs: vision, balance, muscle feedback, blood pressure, touch. When those systems don't line up perfectly, you get the floating feeling. Your body is still there, your brain just isn't syncing the data cleanly. At first, it feels dreamy, then it feels scary, then fear makes you monitor every step, which makes the sensation stronger. That's the trap. But if floating comes with fainting, severe spinning vertigo, weakness, slurred speech, chest pain, or severe headache, don't wait it out. The truth is, Floating feeling isn't proof you're losing control. It's proof your brain hates mismatched signals. Deep itch. Deep itch is the itch you can't scratch. It feels like it's under the skin, inside the muscle, or buried somewhere your fingernails will never reach. You scratch the surface, but the real itch stays untouched. That's because itch and pain travel through nerve pathways, and sometimes the irritation isn't on the skin at all. It can come from deeper nerves, dry tissue, inflammation, tight muscles, or even your brain misreading a signal. Normal itching has a location. You scratch it and it calms down. Deep itch is more annoying because it feels hidden. You press, rub, scratch, stretch, and still feel like the target moved. At first, it's just irritating. Then it becomes personal. Your body has created a problem and refused to give you access to the solution. But here's the problem. A deep itch that keeps returning in the same place comes with numbness, rash, swelling, jaundice, or unexplained weight loss, needs medical attention. The truth is, not every itch starts at the skin. Some start in the wiring. Pressure behind one eye. Pressure behind one eye is that heavy, pushing sensation that feels like something is sitting deep inside your face. It can feel like eye strain, sinus pressure, headache, or a tiny balloon inflating behind your eyeball. Most of the time, it comes from tired eye muscles, screen overuse, sinus congestion, jaw tension, or a headache pattern. Your eyes are not just cameras. They're moved by muscles, surrounded by nerves, and connected to your forehead, nose, jaw, and neck through shared pain pathways. So your eye may not be the real problem. Your sinuses may be irritated. Your jaw may be clenched. Your neck may be tight. Your screen may have bullied your focusing muscles for 10 straight hours. At first, it feels like eye pressure. Then your brain starts imagining the worst possible explanation. Helpful, as always. But here's the catch. Sudden severe eye pain, vision loss, double vision, redness, vomiting, or one-sided weakness is not normal pressure. The truth is, pressure behind one eye is often referred discomfort, not the source, the messenger. And if you want the strange emotional version of this, watch Every Beautiful Emotion and Its Glitch, explained in 11 minutes.